Yes,
Yeah. So where we stopped in the last session,
that's
we discussed about Redux test. So anyone completed in your application Redux integration? Did you complete? If anyone completed, can you share your code so that I can place here? Did anyone? Did anyone complete it? If you completed, just share me this code so that I can add here.
so you want the code.
Yeah, if you complete, just share me this code. Okay, just files you can share it. Please. Otherwise, you can simply tell, okay, I can do it here. So where is our application? End-to-end client, right? So let me open the folder. Okay, so yes, trends, stack, one stack project, UI slide, right? Tell me here. So for what we completed, anyone? So first, if you want to implement Redux in your React application, okay, how many minimum libraries are required for us? Minimum how many libraries are required? Minimum libraries. How many minimum libraries are required?
Two libraries.
Two libraries, right? One is like
React production. Then there we have
Redux.js toolkit is one. Another one is like React
great.
Redux is the one or not? Okay. After that, how much body completed? We completed. After that, what we did? After that, what we did?
We take one scenario like we have to
You
get two
created a store.
components.
You created a store, I guess, right? So where you created in the utilities section, okay, you created one Redux folder.
So your
Inside
screen
that
is
one,
not set.
sterility, yes, okay. Screen is not visible. Are you able to see my screen now? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So here in the package.json you added these two libraries and then you created a store. Okay, by using configure store method you created, that's okay, fine. What you created, the next step, what you did, the next step, what you did, the next step. I think you created a slice, right? You created a slice or not? Authentication slice you created. Okay. In the authentication slice, what you did? Okay, the slice. The authentication slice is not like a TSX. Simply, okay, it is not a component, right? Okay, just you can go with what it is. Not like a TSX. It's not a component. Okay, store is there. Now store.tsx. It's also not a component. Why you need TSX? If it is a component, you can go with that. Next, tell me. What is the next one? Here you created like a name authentication initial state you used, and here the name is like mandatory to differentiate the actions from their side, so that you have to give the unique name. Okay, next here you are maintaining like what authentication flag is authenticated or not, username and a token you maintain. This is the initial data. Okay, my user is like okay empty and my token is like an empty. That's okay. Now to update this data, I want some actions. So reducers you created login. Okay, here you have to update this authentication user and the token. Okay, log out, you have to perform some operation. We didn't write anything, that's okay. Here what we did, you exported reducer. You exported reducer. How you can get the reducer? From the auth slice you can get the reducer, so you exported the reducer. The next one is like auth slice dot actions. The next one is like what you did, auth slice dot actions. In the auth slice dot actions, just you added like what, login and logout. Okay, these are the two actions you exported. Okay, so now reducer can update the data within the store, so that this reducer has to register with the store or not. So can I get the store? Okay, this is the store. Okay, can we register this reducer inside the store? So how we can import, okay, auth reducer, import auth reducer, import auth reducer. What is the next one? Import auth reducer. Here you have to update it. So configure store take how many arguments? Configure store take how many arguments?
So
Okay, it is take like multiple arguments. Okay, first one is like, okay, it's take like object as an argument which contains multiple properties. The first one is like, okay, object reducer is the one. It is used for to register your reducers. The next one is like middlewares also. It's like an optional. Okay, it is like a middlewares also. Okay, you can add the middlewares. For example, if you want to use like a Redux Saga or Redux Thunk, then the time you can go with the middlewares. Okay, I'll tell you how to work with Saga later. Okay, we can add it. So here reducer, okay, your reducer name and your value. Your value is like auth reducer. This name can be anything, no problem at all. Okay, don't think like this name should match with this one, don't think like that. But if you want to put it, you can put it, okay, naming convention wise. Okay, the auth reducer name is this one, that the result just you can use, okay, auth only. But it is not mandatory. Okay, this name and this name no need to be same. This is used by the Redux. Okay, for what purpose? To differentiate the actions. You are like, okay, authentication action you are performing, okay, another action you are performing, to differentiate that one. And this one is like, this is used by Redux, and this is used by you. This name is used by you when while retrieving the data from the store. Okay, so this one and this one no need to be same. If you want to put it, you can put. There is no issues. Okay, done. What is the next step? Once it's registered with the store, what is the next step? npm run dev, we can run it. npm run dev. Okay, once it is done, if you want to send a request to the reducer, that means if you want to update the data within the reducer, you have to pass the data or not. How we can pass the data to the reducer? How we can pass the data to the reducer?
To dispatch.
By using dispatch. This function not support React server component. Please use export client component. Which one? Can you use like use client decorator? Which one is something? Provider store provider. Where is our store? Our store is here. Window. Okay. So the problem with this provider store. It is giving error. Okay, can I go to the provider? Provider is coming from where? Reactor access the library. Store. Where is my store? Utilities. Store is this one, right? Configure store is the method. Okay, we are using this. Go to layout.psx. Metadata is not required. Just you can delete this. And on the client side, reduce anywhere the metadata. Yes, right? Now it is rendered, but just render in the client side. Okay, that's one. So the next step is whenever okay you click on the login, okay, then that time what we need to do, okay, if it is like username and password is correct, you have to dispatch the data to the reducer. Okay, reducer means one of the action. Okay, now this action is going to update the data and return it back. Return it back. Okay, done. For now, here you can stop. So let's go with the login page. Okay, just create like a simple login page. Now here the root component is what? This is your login. This is your okay root component or this is your root component. Now come to this component section. Okay, here you created like a common components. Inside this one form builder, something like this you added, right? In the common components, okay, header footer is common, so that you can write like a header component you can create in the common itself. The next one is like the common, you can create like a footer component. Inside this one you can create the component is like a login component you can create. Login component you can create. Okay, so this header and footer components where we need to place header.tsx. Okay, the next one is like I want to use module css, so that header.module.css. Okay, I don't want to use like normal css, just you can go with the module css. The next one is like header.index.ts. Approach I'm going to follow. What is the difference between module CSS and the normal CSS means? Module CSS is going to generate a unique names always. There is no chance of override your classes. There has no chance of override your classes. Okay, let's take one example. I have one component header only. I have a CSS header.css. In this one, I have one class is there, font size, something like this. Okay. The next one is like I have one more component is there, photo.css is there. I have one more component is there, photo.css. Okay. In the photo.css, just you can say, okay, fs. Okay, font size is like 14 pixel. FS font size is like 14 pixel. Now here font size, here also font size you have. But the thing is, whenever you individually run, no issues. Well, because okay, header component, whenever you run, my font size is like 14 pixel, it's going to apply. Whenever you run the footer component, my font size is like 20 pixel, it's going to apply. But the thing is, whenever you build the code, then what happened? All the CSS merged into a one or two files. Whenever it is like merged into one or two files, then what happened? This font size override by this font size, or this font size, okay, this font size override by this font size, based on the, okay, based on the order. Okay, so finally, okay, you can see in the build CSS file only one font size, only one font size class, only one font size class. Understood? Only one font size class. Got my point? Okay. Only one font size class. Okay. So to avoid this kind of overrides, I want to go with not like normal CSS, just I want to go with module CSS. Here also module CSS. Whenever I use like module CSS, okay, the module CSS is going to generate, okay, you can write normal class name only, but that is going to generate a unique name, my header, something like this, it is going to generate. So this one, okay, it is going to generate a photo or something like this. See, the name, I use it like FS only, but internally model CSS generates a unique name which is not existed in your CSS file. So this is my unique, this is my unique name, so that there is no chance of override one class with another class or not. For that purpose, most of the times preferred like module CSS. I'll show you how it is going to, okay, how it is going to implement else. This is my header.tsx, right? Just you can add, okay, your component. Reactor functional component, it's like a tsx file. I want to mention the type for this. React.functional component is the type. React.functional component is the type. Now here, okay, you can say like a admin module or something like this. Admin module, something like this, you can add it. Now I want to give some CSS. Okay, I want to apply some styles to this my admin module one, so that here is the one I can add it. But one thing you have to remember while using module CSS should contains the selector starts with a class name. Always my selector should starts with class name. Here any number of CSS selectors you can write it. Okay, this is one selector, okay, this is one selector, ID selector, the next one is like tag name selector, anything you can put it greater than, okay, plus, so tilde, like this, any number you can write it. But the selector should start with class. Inside that one you can write whatever you want. So always you can write the class starts with class. And one more thing, okay, don't give any underscores or hyphens. So just it should be a single name. It should be a single name. Okay, why it is like a single name? We'll tell. Okay, syntactically you have to follow. Syntactically you have to follow. Now for example, this is my header one, this is my header one. Now I want to add my header dot tsx is there, right? That module CSS I want to add it. So how we can add the module CSS? Normal CSS, how we added, import that CSS file name or not. But if it is like module CSS, whatever the CS module CSS contains, that is come, okay, that is imported as like a member. So import whatever you written in the module CSS. Okay, those are like simply think like exported as like a default. Export a default value. How we can get it while importing? While importing, how we can get it? Export default value by while importing. How we can get it?
Rename.
Oh, export default value while importing, how we can get it?
You're giving in any.
Okay, without destructuring format or not. So now you can get all the CSS selectors, whatever you written, okay, inside the styles or not. So which selector you written, header is the one. So how we can retrieve, okay, here you can write my class name equals to styles dot header. My class name equals to styles dot header. So here directly I use it like a class name, right? That the reason, don't use any id. Okay, that the reason only I said like everything is like the selector should starts with a class name in the module css. Now why I asked you don't use any hyphens or something, header container. If you come to header.tsx, okay, here what you have to mention, okay, container, header container. Now it is what happened here, okay, I cannot find name container. See, whenever you use like a dot notation, it should be like a one name. Don't use any hyphens or underscores or something. Don't use any hyphens or underscore. Okay, now if you come here, okay, header container, now you can go, okay, like this, header container, that's okay. Okay, underscore you can go. Okay, the next one is like the spaces. Okay, anyway, okay, if you want to write something like this, okay, in the header, if you want to take like a direct or indirect children whose name is like an id, then that time, okay, here directly you can mention like a normal name is like a header only. Normal name is like a header only. Okay, this is nothing but, okay, in the header is like a class, the element whose class name is like a header. Inside that header, direct or indirect children, so many are there, which is having the id is like a container, that one is like applied or not. Okay, like this any selector you can write after that, but you should starts with the class name only. Okay, why? Because in the model css we are going to pointing that particular one as like a class. Okay, so you, if you want multiple words, then that time you can go with underscore. But if you want like a single, then the time you can go with one. Other than this, just don't use any other special characters. Okay, so you can try to put like single name, single word. If you don't, okay, then the time you can go with, okay, underscore you can go. Understood? So in this case, this is my header, this is my header. Now I want to export this particular header component from index.ts file. I don't want to give the exact path of header.tsx. That's the reason just I hide this header.tsx path and I export it from index.ts, and index.ts only the person is going to expose the header. Like that, I want to maintain our actual component paths. So import, okay, my header, import my header. Okay, just you can export it. Okay, here you can export within a single line. You can import and export without default. So this is my header one. This header component I want to use. Okay, this is common for all, so that we can go with what, we can go with the common, in the app layout.tsx. This is the root component, right? So here just I want to add my header component. This here I want to add like header component. So whenever I add like a header component, if you see the imported one in the source components, in the source components, in the components of common, in the common, okay, header folder. Okay, after that not mentioned anything. By default it is pointing to index.ts. In the index.ts export without default value, you can get it here or not. In the ts, whatever your export default value, you can get that export default value here or not. Agreed? What my point? Okay, now just refresh the page, save it, all the files. Okay, layer.tsx, just save this one. Okay, now this is my admin module. Now if you come here and inspect it, now module css one class you added, now see this how the module css converted that class, header module. Okay, some random, okay, some value generated, this is my component name, something like this or not. Okay, it will never be a duplicate in your DOM. This value never be duplicate in your DOM. Okay, that's the reason most of the times instead of, okay, go with the normal css, better to go with the module css. In our next application, okay, not only module css, okay, module css, just I want to go with the module sas scss. Okay, the reusability purpose, code readability, at the same time reuse the values, you can go with, instead of css you can go with scss. For example, if you take this one, for example, if you take this one, if you go to the header one, header.tsx, okay, header.css, see these are the values are like hard coded, right? Okay, background color, this color in my header I use it like 5 to 10 times. Then the time, instead of hard code, I want to create a variable, just I want to use that variable wherever I want. In that case, okay, I want to use this one as like a variable, I want to create the variable, and that variable you have to place here. In css that kind of feature is not there. That's the reason just you can go with the header.module concept, module concepts only we are going to use. And now instead of css, just you can go with scss, scss. Okay, in the next application we can see that. Okay, same like this. Okay, footer one, so what you need to do, footer.tsx is the file. The next one is like index.ts is the one to export it. The next one is like footer.module.css is the one. Okay, now here you can create the component, okay, whose component type is like recommended to put like type you are using like TypeScript. Okay, if you not also, if you have a JS also, just you can ask okay, any, okay, website, any LMS or ChatGPT or some other, just convert our JS file into TS file. That's it. JS file into TS file, something like this you can. Okay, okay, import, okay, styles from where, from module.ts, import styles from module.css. Okay, done. Now if you come to the module.css, just you can go with the photo. Now photo.tsx, okay, here, okay, for example I have a span is there, developed by, now see, I have a class, inside the class anchor is there. To this anchor I want to apply some styles. Then the time how we can, simply what we can do is you can create a footer, a footer, create a footer. in your model CSS, you supposed to be you should start your selector with class name, okay na, in that file. Now you're gonna add something like this. If you want to apply some CSS, okay, to my anchor, then that time use the selector. Okay, here can I use this, my what, my class name equals to what, can I use my class name equals to what, styles dot footer, styles dot footer. Now I want to apply anchor, right? So what is the relation between div and anchor? What is the relation between div and anchor?
Parent and child.
It's like a parent and child. Parent and children, okay, how many selectors are there?
Yeah.
Parent to child selectors or what?
First
Greater
child.
than.
Hmm.
First child.
Sorry.
First child, sir.
Child. Parent and children. First of all, greater than space most of the times, right? Hmm? Parent to children. So greater than is nothing but direct children, so you can get it. Space is nothing but direct or indirect. So this relation, okay, how we can get this anchor? Div greater than a, right? Div
A.
greater than a or not. So what we can do is in the model.css div, we already applied footer. Now see, okay, my space or greater than, you can use it. Whenever you use like a space or greater than, footer is like generated like a dynamic class. Okay, that dynamic class applied to whom, assigned to whom, div. Inside the div you can get like all direct children's whose name is like an anchor, something like this, you can get it all. So point, agreed? Okay, now okay, header model.css, footer model.css, footer.tsx, and here you have to import it. Import my footer, my footer. If you want to export, just you can export as like a default footer, or without default if you want, within a single line you can do it. Now this one where you want in the layout.tsx. Okay, so can I get the footer now? So just get the footer. Now this time my footer is like exported with default, with the default. Now if you see this, okay, my footer is here. Now if you come here, now see my footer. Okay, if you open this one, here anchor, now see my footer is like a dynamic class generated, that one only added here. Okay, greater than a, greater than a. It is working as expected or not? That's all. Got my point? Agreed? Okay. Got my point, right? About the model CSS. So for any questions, anyone? Anyone have any questions?
So
Yeah.
here we are defined functional components like React functional component.
That is the type. You are using TypeScript, right? This is
Yes.
which kind of component? If you use like normal JavaScript, that's okay. If you are using like a TypeScript, you have to mention the type for that particular member. Okay, my header type is what? What is the type of this?
Functional component.
It's a functional component, right? It's a looks like function only, but strictly if you speak, it's like a functional component. So, okay, the type of the functional component, how we can mention means react.fc. It is like a predefined member to define the type for the functional component.
Must and should be.
No, not mandatory, but it is recommended. Why? Because you are using TSX. Understood, everyone? Are okay? Okay then. Okay. For now, I'm going to stop. Okay. Next week onwards, we can take like a full session, okay? An hour session. You can join. Okay. This week, just it's like on and off. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll say. Okay. Then up to here, we can complete. And tomorrow we can work on this particular login piece. So for that, can you go through this? Come for the tomorrow's class. Okay. Validations and everything. Just go through this. Okay. This particular example, can you walk through? Okay, if it is not there, for example, please enter user ID. If it is not there, please enter password. If you click on this one, okay, it's not allowed. Okay, if you write something like this, please enter password. If you write something, now only it's going to be allowed or not. Hmm? Can you walk through this example? The React Alarm Schools React program. Hmm? Just walk through this example and come for tomorrow's class. Okay, we are not doing same exactly. Okay, but okay, the theme is like this one only. Okay. Okay then, thank you guys, thanks for joining.